As somebody who went 831 and 75 and also hit 575 in BR in MLB The Show 24, and also in 24 having a peak rating pretty close to 1200 in ranked seasons, today I'm going to be teaching you how to hit more perfect perfects and becoming a better hitter in MLB The Show 25. And if you haven't already, make sure to hit that subscribe button because most of you watching this video have not done so yet. So here's a few different categories we're going to talk about to teach you guys how to hit an MLB The Show 25. The first category is going to be the equipment that I use for my controller. The second category is going to be the camera and the settings that I use for the game. The third category is going to be the approach I have at the plate while I play the game. The fourth is what swing types do I use while I'm hitting. The fifth is going to be talking about ambush hitting, the brand new ambush hitting and how you could use it to be better. And then the final category, category number 6, is going to be how you can practice to get better. So without further ado, let's start to get you better at hitting in MLB The Show 25. First up, let's talk about the equipment that I use for Xbox. I'm an Xbox Series X guy, and here's what we use. So first of all, I use a Power A wired controller. In my opinion, if you want to play MLB The Show 25, and, you know, definitely MLB The Show, I have noticed that wired controllers are just better than wireless controllers. These controllers, you know, go for around $30 to $40 at GameStop or on Amazon and stuff like that. But if you are looking to become better at MLB The Show, I highly recommend investing into one. You can also get like insurance on these things at GameStop to where, you know, you get like 1 year worth of insurance and they're like $9 every time like something happens to it. And, you know, you do that, you know, like do it twice a year. It's not too expensive. You know, for some people it might be, but I highly recommend looking into getting a wired controller, a Power A wired. I've also heard Game Seer controllers are very good. Game SIR, it's all one word. I've never used one of those, but I heard they are highly regarded in the community as well, especially at the top levels. Also, what I use on my controller is I use 2 pieces of equipment. Shout out Control Freak. If you guys are interested in shopping in Control Freak products, there's a link down in the description. So make sure you go check it out. I have a code where you can get 12% off on Control Freak. But here they are. The first one is precision rings. Precision rings look like a little meshy piece of a circle. And what they do is they go around your sticks on your controller. As you can see, I currently have a black one under my left stick right now on my wired controller. Precision rings essentially allow you to not slam your PCI around the zone. Sometimes you will once they're broken in and stuff, but with P rings where you put them gently around your stick for future reference, if you do get these, they will tear. So be very gentle on sliding them around the stick. Like I was saying, they essentially help you control your PCI to not slam it. They restrict the motion of your stick to where you can't go all around the zone, and it makes it more precise for you. They also come in 3 different strengths for the packs I recommend buying. If you want to get the mix pack of P-rings, they come in green, purple, and black. It's essentially weak, medium, and strong P-rings. I personally use black P-rings, the strongest one on Xbox, but I know a lot of people also like using purple on Xbox, and I've heard PlayStation controllers are a little bit more sensitive to where you might want to be in the green to purple range. Essentially, here's what I recommend. If you are on PlayStation, start with green precision rings. Use them for a week no matter what. And if you think you need a little bit more restriction or want to try out the purples, try out purples for a week. And then you make up your mind, maybe track your stats or something like that to see which one you do better with and go from there. If you're on Xbox, what I recommend is starting off with the purple P-ring, the one I just had in my hand. I actually just dropped it on this video. No cuts in this video. Well, there have been cuts, but we're going to keep talking. Purple P-rings is what I recommend you starting out with. And you use them for a week and you like them, move on to a black one, try that one for a week and decide on which one you like better. And then you have a really good idea, you know, of what you want to go with. And the last product we're going to talk about from Control Freak is their thumbsticks. I personally love the Black Galaxy thumbsticks for my Xbox controller. And if you want to see what the finished product of my controller looks like, I only use one side of this stuff. So here's what it looks like. I will have my plain stick on the right side, and the left stick will have a P-ring and a Control Freak. And this right here is my best setup for a lot of people wanting to get better in MLB The Show 25. And really quickly, if you want to know what Control Freaks do, they essentially make your thumb movements a little bit more sensitive on your stick to where you can precisely move your PCI around the zone. And in combination with the P-ring, it definitely helps you not slam, feel a little bit more control with your PCI. But enough yapping about equipment, we gotta move on to the second category. Let's go ahead and talk about what settings and what cameras I use in MLB The Show 25. So as we go into the gameplay settings, they've completely reworked their menus this year. There might be a lot of stuff that looks intimidating for you, but let me just simply show you what I use, what I recommend, and maybe some tweaks you can make on your own to make it feel a little bit better. So in the hitting interface, I highly recommend everybody trying to get used to PCI and zone hitting. I know I'm a top player in the game, and there's going to be a lot of people who watch this that are not top players in the game. It's completely okay. But the more time you put into PCI hitting, the better you will get over time. PCI hitting is the most consistent hitting form once you get better at it on high difficulties, on low difficulties. It is just a fact. So I recommend zone hitting if you don't use it. I use a button swing input. Obviously, you can't guess pitch online. I do not use PCI anchor. We can talk about that a little bit more when we talk about approach and stuff like that. But as we go down here to my actual PCI, I do have PCI on, obviously. But here's what I use. I use a bat center PCI, and I use nothing else. The inner is nothing. The outer is nothing. The color of my PCI is typically either black or it is also cyan. One of the two is what I recommend. It's just the ones that I like. And the opacity of my PCI is 50%. These are recommended settings. There are other PCIs that I see a lot of people using sometimes. Another PCI that I know people like are circles and diamonds as a center. Some people don't even like a center. Some people only like a basic inner. You know, that's what they like. But let me show you what my PCI actually looks like at the plate. So this right here is what it should look like. Yes, it's kind of hard to see, but I don't like my PCI being so overbearing where you can't see anything. Like, I really like it thin to where you can see through the pitcher. Like, if I'm right here, the pitcher's not fully covered. His face just isn't like a mugshot. I like it like this to where I have it feels like it's just kind of there. I have it like in my peripheral while I'm watching the pitch come in. So yes, this is a black PCI, a black bat PCI, and that's it. The center is only bat. It's 50%. And like I said, PCI is truly up to your discretion. If you like a different PCI, go for it. I just like having something simple to where it's not too overwhelming and my focus can stay on the pitcher. Now, as you saw me hitting, you might be wondering, hey, Trod, you didn't even talk about your camera. Well, here you go. Here's the camera settings. So my offense hitting view camera setting is strike zone. I have been told that some people like strike zone 2 or strike zone high. I'm a strike zone guy. A strike zone bred and born. I've played on this for many years, ever since I basically started streaming in 22. Strike zone's the way to go. If you play on zoom hitting, you're honestly just putting yourself at like a disadvantage or any of the other ones. I seriously recommend, if you do want to get better at hitting it in MLB The Show, turn on strike zone. My in-play camera view offense is dynamic. That's not too big of an issue. And then you don't need to know about the defense cameras, but there they are if you want to see them. Now let's move on to the third category. Let's talk about the approach that you should have up at the plate in MLB The Show 25. Having an approach at the plate is critical for your success in MLB The Show 25. And typically one of the best things I could recommend for an approach is definitely taking pitches. I notice the times where I get into slumps the most is taking pitches, trying to be a little bit more picky about what I like to see at the plate. Because once you start to get an eye for things, it's a lot easier to also move your PCI and be a little bit more confident getting to pitches. So I highly recommend, like I said, taking pitches. If you get into a slump or you notice yourself not feeling great up at the plate, start with that. Also, another part of my approach of what I like to do is I definitely sit on fastballs and sinkers inside on same side hitting. I'll talk about opposite side hitting first, but actually let's get this set up to where I'm batting same side. Here we go. I've set up my custom practice to show you exactly what I'm looking for. So I've set it up where Garrett Cole, RIP his arm. Yeah, he's not pitching this year. I'm sorry about that, Yankees fans. But I've set it up to where we got a righty-righty matchup. And here's what I look for in righty-righty matchups. Perfect. We're playing on Legend or Hall of Fame, something like that right now. But I always look for fastballs and sinkers inside, same side batting first. Because if you cannot hit that pitch, you will not succeed. Pitchers online will spam it to you. You know, even sometimes, like if you're not ready for it offline, I know the pitchers offline typically don't have, like, they just throw random pitches, it feels like. But at least for online, if you want to get better at online play as well, pitchers will throw inside a lot, fastballs and sinkers inside. So if you're batting same side, the first thing you got to always look, in my opinion, is same side fastballs inside. Also sinkers inside. Another pitch that you should worry about, let me set this one up. Another dastardly pitch you got to be ready for, or I should say pitches, are sliders and cutters outside. Low and outside, maybe low, but all low and outside. As you guys have known, there is the PCI shrinkage thing now, to where the PCI will literally shrink on sliders low and outside. I just missed one and I know it's coming. That's how tough they are to hit sometimes. But you gotta also be ready if it's not a fastball and sinker inside, same time batting. A lot of times if a pitcher has a cutter or a slider, it's probably going outside. Sometimes they'll mix it up and throw it, you know, front door, and they'll mix you up. But that is another pitch you have to get used to. You have to get ready for, because it is one of the most difficult pitches to hit in the game. A lot of you guys, you know, watching this video probably have experienced a lot of difficulty with some of these pitches. So here's what I recommend. You know, hop into custom practice. Go actually cue the pitches up yourself so you know what's coming. There's a beautiful swing. That's what it should look like, and that's what you will be doing here soon. Now we've talked about same side batting. Let's talk about opposite side batting. So right here, we got a lefty-righty matchup. One of the pitches that you should definitely look for is sinkers or fastballs. I know I'm going to beat a dead horse with me talking about this, but if you cannot hit sinkers or fastballs against any pitcher, you will probably not succeed. You got to get your timing skills up. You got to be quicker with your neurons firing. Just always, you know, it's like in real life. If you can't hit a fastball, you're not going to really be ready for anything else, because your hands got to be ready to hit a fastball. And opposite side batting, one of the pitches that is killer to so many players, good and bad, are sinkers inside and up. So I have it set up to where he's throwing up and inside sinkers right now, just to, you know, prove my point. But those kind of pitches right there, if you could start hitting those consistently, sinkers up and in, opposite side batting, it'll make hitting opposite side hitting a lot easier for you. Another big pitch to look out for when you're opposite side hitting is also sinkers and fastballs down and away. I feel like this is just the most common pitch to throw because it is so easy to roll over as a same side hitter. So I would, you know, like I said, I'm just talking about the same thing right here, but you gotta be ready for sinkers up and in. You also got to be ready for sinkers low and out. And there's one more pitch I really want to talk about when we're saying, or opposite side hitting. Another killer pitch for many people, opposite side hitting. Let me talk to you about cutters inside, like that right there. Sliders inside too, somehow, you know, sometimes beat people up. Cutters and sliders inside. I would honestly recommend getting used to taking a lot of cutters inside. It is one of the most difficult pitches to hit in the game, as I've talked about in online play. You don't see offline pitching, you know, really build up a consistency of a lot of pitches that they throw, just because, like, I feel like they throw random pitches. But if you are starting to venture into online and stuff like that, cutters inside are going to be, you're not going to be happy, because pitchers that have sinkers and cutters are meta, I would say. So you got to learn how to take cutters inside. Sometimes they will dot you on the paint. Honestly, if it happens, it happens, because even if it dots you up, most of the time, if you got to hit it, you got to be almost perfect timing, because if you're just early, it's probably going foul, and if you're late, it's going to be weak. That is one of the pitches where you really have to have, like, precise accuracy with your timing to really get a good swing on. We're getting through this video, so let's go ahead and move on to the fourth idea we're talking about for hitting. Let's talk about what swings I use in MLB The Show 25. So this is going to be a very simple section I want to talk to you guys about. So in MLB The Show, we got 4 buttons on our controller. We have A, B, Y, and X on Xbox. You PlayStation guys, you have, what is it, X, square, triangle, circle, something like that. Yeah, I used to play PlayStation, not anymore. But they all got different types of swings in this game. And as you can see from this menu right over here, you got a normal swing, you got a contact swing, you got a power swing, and you gotta bunt. First of all, if you bunt, I'm not a fan. I never like bunting. You know, I'm kind of like not a bunting guy. I'm not a bunting guru. I suck at it anyway, so I don't even want to do it. But essentially, you have 3 different types of swings. You got normal swing, contact swing, power swing. Let me make this very short and sweet for everybody watching. You are putting yourself online or offline at a disadvantage by power swinging or contact swinging, okay? Normal swing should be the only thing you ever do in MLB The Show 25 while hitting. Let me talk about these swings really quick so you get an idea of what they do. A power swing is supposed to increase your exit velo, but you are supposed to be more precise with your swing to get that boost to your swing. Contact swing, it will increase your PCI and your foul ball ability, but you will automatically hit the ball weaker. And then with normal swing, it is a fine medium between all that. Like it says, it is a normal swing. It's about as middle ground as you could get between the 3. And just to show you really quick, let me show you what a contact swing does, even in BP. That is a perfectly placed hit with 92 power with the hitter, and that ball only went 95 miles per hour. 95. Let me see what I could. Let me try to get a perfect real quick. So here we go. Can I get a perfect? I can. With a contact swing, my perfect literally only went 100 miles per hour. You might think that's great, but also realize Austin Riley has near max power offline. If you can't even hit a home run with it, and you took the best swing possible. Now let's get a perfect on a normal swing, and look at that. That is a normal swing, and I just hit it 118. I mean, you are getting the same exit velos even with a power swing for that. And I only use normal swing. Why would you ever want to power swing when you get the same outcome? And power swing literally shrinks your PCI. And if you're using timing, it makes it harder too. Why would you ever want to use anything but normal swing? The second to last topic that we're going to talk about for this video is ambush hitting, the brand new mechanic, and how we could use it to be better. Let's go. Ambush hitting. First of all, if you do not know how to activate ambush hitting with what you see right here, you essentially move your left stick, or your right stick, sorry, left and right. And here is what ambush hitting is. Ambush hitting essentially increases your PCI if you guess correctly. It makes your PCI a little bit bigger. If you guess incorrectly, it gets a lot smaller. And to really amplify what I'm talking about, I want you guys to see as we move our PCI, I have done it to ambush hitting outside. You could see the PCI getting bigger to the outside and shrinking to the inside. So if I guessed outside and a pinch inside was coming, just like that right there, my PCI would be drastically smaller than, you know, the outside pitch that I was looking for. So I'm flicking between the two. I'm guessing outside to inside. And you guys can see there is a drastic change to your PCI change when you flip between the two. Personally, I truthfully do not think I will be using ambush hitting a lot this year. The only time I will be using ambush hitting is if I am struggling with a certain pitch off of a certain pitcher. For example, last year, I struggled heavily with John Don sliders low and out, lefty. They were awful. So a pitcher like that, if I notice my opponent is continuously spamming sliders low and outside, or if they are continuously slamming sinkers inside, righty, or something like that, I absolutely am going to at least try to anchor a couple times to give myself a boost and make them stop abusing that pitch, you know? I think that is going to be your best methods of using ambush pitching. Now, when you got, like, if you're in a 2-strike count or anything like that, maybe 3-2, if you have a 2-strike count, I do not recommend ambush hitting. Because if you guess incorrectly, you're going to have a very tough time hitting at all. I recommend if you have 1 strike or less, activating ambush hitting to where you could maybe try to get a jump on a pitch. And I would only use this if you have a really good feeling on a pitcher spamming a pitch. If, you know, you're getting beat by a pitch a lot, maybe giving yourself a little bit of help. And, you know, if you're better with inside pitches and you want to continuously ambush outside just to, you know, give you that extra boost because you're that confident in your skills inside, go for it. See if that approach works for you. But I know this year, I basically will not be using ambush hitting unless one of my opponents is spamming pitches or there is a pitch that I really, really struggle with. I just don't think that risk of having that much worse of a swing, like my PCI not being as good if I get beat with one pitch and my exit velo is also going down with it and my foul ball ability, I don't want it, especially as I move through ranked seasons and, you know, other stuff. It's going to make it very, very, very difficult to get good swings if my PCI is even smaller than what it should be. And also, just a quick tip, I am going to talk about to you guys a very, very underrated stat that I think you guys should be on the lookout for in Diamond Dynasty and for all your hitters. One thing I recommend looking at that you could see in Austin Riley's little chart down there, guys, let me tell you something. The most underrated stat in this game as you play on any difficulty is vision. In my opinion, I think vision is so much more important than contact. Vision essentially gets your PCI bigger if it has a high rating or smaller if it has a lower rating. So it is so key and important to have good vision on a card. You know, you could sacrifice some vision on lower difficulties like veteran and all-star and even beginner if you're playing on that. It don't even matter on that. But if you are moving up through the ranks and you're watching this video trying to make that push into Hall of Fame, maybe even Legend, maybe even GOAT, vision is going to be your best friend. It'll allow you to get more foul balls when needed. It'll allow you to get more good PCIs because you just have more room to work with. Please trust me. Vision is a very, very important stat in MLB The Show 25. And I say this because vision definitely correlates with ambush hitting. The more vision you have, the more room you have to play with, and the bigger your PCI will get in ambush hitting. The last thing we are going to talk about in this video so you could get better at hitting in MLB The Show 25 is what Allen Iverson hated to do. Let's talk about practice and how you can get better. So the number one way I recommend for many of you people watching right here is going to the main menu right here, scrolling down and getting yourself into some custom practice. Yes, the thing I want you to do literally says it in the name. You enter practice mode, you switch your practice type to batting, and then you get to choose any pitcher in the game depending on what team they play on to practice against. You could also choose what pitch frequency you see. Let me move my camera so you can see this clearly. So obviously now you could see you could change this to face any pitcher right here, and you could also see whatever pitch they throw. The sweeper is new this year. You might want to see some more sweepers, get better at that. And you change what you want to see, what frequency, and you could also change what zones you want to practice these pitches in right here. And so this is very highly recommended for me if you are a casual player. You know, if you're up in like the Legend and GOAT difficulty, you might not need this stuff because, you know, there is a difference in hitting online to offline. Online, you're just going to have a little bit more latency. So if you're an offline player, I definitely recommend this. If you're an online player, you could use a combination of this, and what I'm also going to talk about is get your reps in online. Online hitting is so important for you people that play online, just getting your reps in. I know we're in custom practice right now, but getting used to online latency, getting used to online pitching. If you're not very good at the game, it's gonna happen. You're gonna suck. I suck some games, but there's no need to get worried about it. The more reps you get, just like the more games of Fortnite you play, the better you get, and it's just gonna come naturally over time. But talking about the world of custom practice really quick, if you are struggling with a certain pitcher or a certain pitch, here's what I recommend doing. Go into here, choose the pitcher that you are struggling with. Say if it was Devin Williams, say you were struggling with his screwball. You would set it up to, you know, if you're struggling with screwballs outside, you would highlight all the zones outside. If you're struggling with them high, if somebody was screwing with you high, which typically won't happen, set it up high. But if you want to just set it up for everywhere, you could literally just leave it blank and then go into here and you're ready to hit all the screwballs that you want to see. And you could get used to the timing on different difficulties and stuff like that. I suck, apparently. No, I'm just joking. Screwballs are actually nasty. But one last thing that you could also do in custom practice that I do recommend trying out is taking yourself into the settings menu and changing your difficulty to Legend, or honestly even GOAT. And here's why I say this. If you've made it this far in the video, I want you to try this out. Go into Legend or GOAT difficulty and literally place it with, let me get a righty matchup really quick just so I could explain this. Put fastballs down the middle and inside. with your pitcher and hit. Using this method will speed up your hands. You might never play GOAT difficulty. You might never play Legend difficulty. But seeing these pitches faster than you will ever see online will make everything else look so much slower. You could also do this and set up sinkers inside lefty lefty or righty righty, and this will, I mean, I'm late and I'm looking at GOAT and I know what's coming, but once you start to time up your hands on the fastest and hardest difficulty, and you know, working on precisely moving your PCI to get some centered up pitches, because it literally does not matter if you swing and miss in this, it will automatically make you feel a little bit better up at the plate. It'll also, like I said, slow everything down. So maybe if you're in a slump or something like that, you could always come into custom practice, tune up the speed to GOAT difficulty, swing at fastballs down the middle and inside, or sinkers inside and down the middle, and really just see the hardest thing, get your hands sped up to where you're not getting beat offline or online by slower pitching. So finishing up that last section really quick, definitely test out custom practice, but the most important thing you could do is definitely get reps. And whatever you're playing, the more you play, the better you will get. There is no easy way just to become amazing overnight. Just work on it and it'll come to you eventually. So yes, MLB The Show 25 is finally here, and that is the end to the official MLB The Show 25 hitting tips from a top player. I'm definitely going to get some flawlesses this year. I will be getting those gold cards at 1,000 rating GOAT this year. And if you guys want to subscribe to the channel to check out more of my content, make sure you do. Also, drop a like on this video. If you have any questions about what I talked about, comment what they are down below and I will try to get back to you. Also, if you want to see me hit live on some of the hardest difficulties, go follow the Twitch. That link is down in the description. I appreciate each and every single one of y'all so much. I'm excited to have a great 25 with you guys, and I will see you guys in the next one. Peace out, Trod Squad. Peace.